How long gone? It is Chris Black coming to you from the Londoner Hotel, and I'm just happy to be here, Jason. I'm ready to go back to New York, but I've had an excellent time here in the motherland.
It looks like you're having a fun little holiday. It looks like you're doing lots of British things. You keep like poking your head out of a window, and there's like a fish pie cooling on a sill and things like that going on, right?
Yeah. I love when I see a fish pie cooling on a windowsill. What am I supposed to do, Jason, but capture that? We went to Izzy had a dinner at her house last night, and there were several fish being cooked, but I wanted to. She started because she quit smoking, she started baking, and I have to say the sourdough was really hitting the spot, and I just it feels like a COVID relic, but it actually was hitting.
Yeah, for many of us, Chris, our sourdough craft and artistry never left. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know when you see these articles, there's like blah 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 is back, and you're like, never left me, sweetie.
Where have you been? Yeah, I haven't had I don't have very many home cooked meals by design. But this guy, actually, I think you know this guy, Yago. It's like Ecstasy Cookbook on Instagram.
Ecstasy Cookbook on it. Yeah, he makes some of the horniest food in London.
He's lovely guy, but the food was great.
Great guy.
And he was in charge of everything but the bread course. And but it was all great. But the bread, I was impressed with her skills. That's all. It seems like a hard thing to master.
It is a hard thing to master. It's one thing that I've always wanted to do, but I just could never be arsed. It's one of those things, it's like making pho, like all these other things where it's just like, it's super simple. You just have to spend your entire life dedicated, and every time you do
it's
it is
super easy
different.
if you do it for 10 years.
I mean,
it's no problem.
And I want, the thing is, if you don't get that spark early in the process,
you lose interest.
It's just so tough. Like when you're on your like 7th failed sourdough and you're like, I have like a job and kids, like I can't really make this my whole life right now.
Yeah. So you're saying
it's easy to just buy.
That process is that's why it became so popular in COVID, because it's a long process that requires several errors, and when you have nothing else to do, that's fine. But as soon as you have a life, that becomes less important.
Yeah, I mean that, or alternatively, for every person like me who has devoted their life to the science and art of cookery, there's some dumb bitch who is like, oh, I did it the first try and it's yummy. I can't do it.
I see. So the variables are such that someone could knock it out of the park first try, and someone else, even if more skilled, could take years to get it right.
Case in point, I went to... But yes, exactly. A friend of the show, Jordan Berry, him and I and...
OG.
And our mutual barber, Kevin, the three of us went to a Dodgers game last night.
Oh God!
It was protest night. We got our Ice Cube bobbleheads, but
not Ice Cube bobbleheads.
Yay! Unfortunately, the Ice Cube bobblehead, and I'll get back to it because I don't want to lose my tangent.
We can't run past that. That's not you can't. You got to go back. I'm sorry. So you were at the Doyer game.
Okay, I'm at we're pre-gaming at Jordan's house. He lives 2 minutes away from me.
Okay.
I brought the carne asada. I made some tofu and mushroom tacos for Kevin, who is cruelty free.
Is that the vegan? So he's vegan.
He's vegan, yeah. He's vegan straight edge, just like used to be when.
Thank God.
Before we turned into weak motherfuckers.
Exactly.
He still has his constitution, and I'm over here like.
So this pregame was it? Obviously, alcohol is involved, but it was food forward.
It was more so cigarette forward, but there was food available.
Sure.
No, there was a good spread. We had some chips and guac and salsas and some tacos and little things. It was delish. But Jordan is a guy who does not cook at all. He's one of the he's more of a you type of person. He's ordering out at restaurants. He'll keep some fruit and stuff, and
sure
he'll cook a little bit. He's definitely doing more than you, but would never call himself a gourmand.
Sure.
And he was like, oh, I made tahdig last week. She was bomb. I nailed it. And I'm like, I have never made tahdig successfully. And I was like, so you use like a rice cooker, or you do it in a pot? And he's like, did it in a pot.
Which is that the harder way to do it?
It's a harder way to do it. I mean, it's one of those things where some people He was like, I just went on YouTube.
I followed directions and it worked.
Yeah, the Persian grandma was like, do this, do this, do this. And I might get in my own way where I'm like, I have other thoughts on that saffron to water ratio, bitch, and then I fuck it up. But it's
so
when
how
you
old
follow
are
the
you? Because I think you're losing your facilities a little bit based on the ratios that you're presenting to me on YouTube. I don't feel
that
great.
Many shallots. Okay, wow. Let's lock her up. Time to go to bed, Granny.
Lock her up.
And he's like, no, he's like, I made it. It was delicious. It was great. And I'm over here. I've got my fucking Chica's corn chip in my hand. It's crushing because of like I've tried to make tzatziki since you were in middle school.
Several times
since you were in middle school, and have never made one where I was proud to even photograph it for close friends, let alone grid.
Okay, so that I guess that is the nature of the beast when it comes to any pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
Some people come to it naturally and easily, and some people grind away, chip away for years until they get to somewhere they're happy with, at least.
I mean, it's like a Rubik's Cube. You imagine you and me in a room with the Rubik's Cube, and they're like, yeah, just solve it. And not in like solve it in 10 minutes or solve it in an hour. Just solve it
at all.
Just solve it at all. No. And we would be like,
wouldn't.
So how do you kill me? Is it euthanasia? Is there a
what
gas
are we gonna
chamber?
do to get out of here? Because
we're done.
It ain't gonna work. So you went to the Dodgers game. Was it a night game? So you started pre-gaming like you brought a carton of cigarettes at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
The game was at 7:10. Of course, a lot of people wanted to get there early because there's only so many Ice Cube bobbleheads to give out. It's not. There's not an infinite amount of bobbleheads.
This is first come first serve Ice Cube bobbleheads. So you got to make sure you're in the park when they open the gates.
Yeah.
So that you get one for your shelf.
I was like, so for the bobblehead, how crazy they have a Japanese player, Otani, who's like really famous baseball player. You know of him because of his gambling addiction. Other people know
one
of him.
One of the greatest sports stories in history is his translator taking the fall for a multi-million-dollar gambling and him getting out of it.
Yeah, Drake is like, so is this
Drake.
I'm having trouble with my English as well, actually.
Can Smiley take the fall for me, or do I need to get a translator?
Can I grab his WhatsApp from you when not right now, but later?
I lost $125 million in a month. I need a fucking translator. I need something.
Because I don't really want to like pay all of it back. Is there a way that we can skirt around it?
Can we get? I can do verses if anybody needs one. I can do. I'm willing to trade. I'm willing to trade.
Okay.
So you got there early.
So I was wondering, as like, you'll see on TV like the Otani bobblehead night, and people are camped out the day before. It's like a supreme drop. People are going loco for it. So I was like, so Ice Cube bobblehead night must be like that, if not more. He's a huge movie star,
of course, and one of the not current day, but at least a member of LA Mount Rushmore. I would say to a certain demographic of residents, age wise,
Mount Cripsmore.
Yeah,
and I was asking, I was like, so then that means we're probably not going to get a bobble. They've been lined up since like 8 a.m. this morning, and he was like, I think the Ice Cube one will be fine.
Yeah,
and there was no mass hysteria running to get the cube. Most people were able to get it, but the Ice Cube bobblehead itself, it was when you see the Madame Tussauds where they unveil the wax figurines or the wax sculpture, and it does not look anything like Quentin Tarantino at all.
Yeah, somehow they made it uglier than Quentin Tarantino. Did they do Ice Cube dirty?
Cube looked like a guy who sells kebabs. He looked like a guy who's operating.
Q-Bob is what you're saying. They switched up on him.
Yeah, it was not Ice Cube. It was more of a a cubed beef loin that had been marinated in but he just looked like a guy who ran and operates like a mid-level Indian food restaurant.
Okay, I feel like with those kind of bobbleheads that they're mass producing at that level, not like a collectible Michael Scott bobblehead that I would have on my desk, but something more for the mass market. I feel like there's maybe some existing form factors that they sort of customize versus building from the ground up. So I think they went with I think
they went with the DJ Khaled template. That was the closest one.
They went with the DJ Khaled template and did some slight customization because people aren't looking super close at the details of the Ice Cube bobblehead. It's more about getting it. So did Ice Cube throw out the first pitch?
I don't know. Cube was not there. I don't think Cube was there at the game at all.
Cube wasn't there?
They would just show videos on the screen of him because on opening night of the season, he drove like a lowrider around the warning track of Dodger Stadium, and I don't think he was hitting any switches, but
sure. He kept it polite for the audience. This is a mass audience, but so you're saying to me, if obviously I'm not Ice Cube by any means, but even if I'm Ice Cube as a lifelong LA resident, I think that if they make the bobblehead and they give it to 15,000 people, I would maybe want to be in the building to celebrate that with my favorite local team.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at Ice Cube's IG right now. He's got no Instagram stories right now. You can't put that up on the stories, but he did post on his. No, he posted it on Grid. It's a different looking one though. What the fuck?
Yeah, they probably gave. I think this could be a partnership that has maybe long term.
Sure.
And he had to post on Grid as part of his contract. You know how it goes as a content creator.
Don't I know it? Fucking Ice Cube. Also, Ice Cube's Instagram is just him posting minor league basketball.
Is he a G League head?
It's called Big 3.
Oh, that maybe
he must be an investor.
Yeah, he definitely is. Yeah, I was about to say
his entire grid, just dozens and dozens. It's just like watch the LA Riot versus the Miami 305 on CBS.
Wow, they play it on CBS. It must be in the afternoon on like a Saturday.
1 p.m. type shit.
Exactly. I called it. Damn. That is, I love when like the way 50 Cent, no matter what he posts on Instagram, he hashtags all of his brands afterwards. Mm-hmm. This feels like the ultimate version of Instagram use, where it's like, I don't give a fuck about this dork shit. I just want to use it to make money and promote my investment portfolio. I kind of like it.
It seems like it's connected with Vice magazine and Vice TV as well.
Well, that's not great. I didn't know there's anything left to connect to.
Vice Originals and Live Sports.
Jesus Christ! They just hired a new president of Vice Media from some from another media conglomerate. They're giving it a shot again.
So everyone, Vice is like, well, we can't take photos of. Nope, child porn is out, so sports are big. Maybe we can go into
sports are big. We should try. I mean, they've flirted with the sports world before. It's not selling magazines the way maybe some of their other more famous covers are.
Man, how does Vice go from just Dash Snow shooting up into his dick to like indoor Canadian football and bare knuckle boxing?
I was looking at a few old issues of Vice recently. And I was just like, God, this was so good. And obviously I was the right age for it, and like, this is some boomer shit, but it really was so good and exposed me to so much. And it is sad to see what it has become. It is. But I mean, the only other option is to shut it down. But I guess someone thinks the IP is still valuable enough to just, change courses and keep it going.
I don't know who that person is. Anyone who knows what Vice is has bad memories attached to it, and then everyone else just doesn't know what it is at all.
I was talking to somebody that worked at Vice recently, that worked at it here, and she was like talking about how fun it was. And I was like, damn, hell yeah. I love when somebody admits that it was sick when everybody did coke at the office.
Yeah, it's 50-50. It's like,
yes, it is.
Like, were you cool or were you not cool is kind of what it boils down to,
I will never forget Halloween in Brooklyn in a fucking giant warehouse, Vice Halloween party with Bad Brains, and just sweating my ass off, not wearing a costume, and everyone else was in a costume. And I just was like, you idiots, how did you fall for this?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, people love a costume.
I know they do. I know they do. It's one of my biggest issues.
I would never. I don't think I'm ever going to costume again.
Well, we know why. You flirted with disaster and you came out on the other side, so you shouldn't dip your toe back into that cold pool.
No.
Okay, did the Dodgers win? Sorry, we can wrap it up.
No, Dodgers got smacked.
Okay, but was there some humdingers? Was it fun to watch at least?
It was fun to watch at least. It was fun to like get a little too drunk off of $85 each tall boy beers and like yell. Yell at people. We had great seats, so they could hear me yelling.
I really like this kind of fellas night energy for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to do this more often to remind yourself that you're like a powerful straight being. Tap into that. I have nowhere to tap into that. I couldn't do that if I tried.
Hey, you guys, I'm a powerful straight being, okay, and I need you guys to recognize that or whatever.
I think you need that reminder. Just because of the world you live in. I don't think that pops up very often. But you have a network of fellas that can kind of easily help you get back into that space when you need it, when you need to recharge.
Because if I'm there with Carolyn, she'll be like, don't yell at that professional athlete and call him a loser. It's just, it looks bad or it's embarrassing. But with my fellas there, they're like, again. I remember I went into the bathroom and an elder cholo walked in, an elder foo walked in.
Mm-hmm.
And he started saying, he was basically like mimicking what a correctional officer in jail would be saying when it's time to do like the bathroom break bunk check type of thing. So he walked in and he started yelling, program, heel, toe, shoulder to shoulder. And he started basically just like doing the whatever jailhouse drill sergeantry to just a bathroom full of.
That's pretty cool, honestly. Did people think it was? I mean, I guess it's more of who got it and who didn't. I think that's telling in that instance.
Tyler and his dad, who has a mullet, they were not picking it up, but
sure.
You could imagine, the criminal looking bros.
Okay.
Luckily I was able to
pick up on what was going on. You code switch, classic code switcher. Yeah, you code switch. You already code switched twice that night into a straight guy and into a former jailhouse resident. So that's a lot. I hope you're not too tired from all that code switching.
Oh, it takes it out of you. All that switching.
You might need a nap. I sent you this earlier, but there was some breaking news in the country music world. It looks like Zach Bryan has gotten a hair transplant, and it's making the rounds online. And I have to say, it looks amazing. It's really good. It's one of the best ones I've ever seen, I might say.
Okay, so what you sent me, I thought that his hair transplant happened before his success.
No, he just did it
from a few years ago. He just did it.
I think he took some time. He was off the road, and I think guys like that, obviously he doesn't have to go to Turkey. Somebody probably comes to him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of the best I've ever seen. It's right up there with Steve Carell.
I mean, Zach probably
not to bring him up again.
It does.
It looks great.
His old haircut was looking a little like he slicked it back. It was thin on top. He wasn't balding, but he needed a little help, right?
The front was under duress.
The front was under duress, but also it was less of like the amount of hair or the quality of hair, and I was more noticing just like the transformation of hairstyles from one to another.
Yeah,
he went from like a guy who's going to a Slipknot concert in the before photo, and then the after photo, a guy who is in a pentatonic style.
Harmonizing he does. He looks a little more vanilla, I would say, but I think that's probably good. Because overall it makes him look better. But I agree with you; it changed his appearance quite a lot.
Yeah, he went. It's like a bad boy to good boy makeover.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And he needs a good boy makeover, and he has.
Does he?
Well, he has endless funds to support that makeover, so I feel like it's just right there at the fingertips.
But was he an actual bad boy before?
I think
he wasn't, right?
I mean, obviously, actual bad boy has a sliding scale. I mean, I don't really think so, but like I think there are people that would say yelling at your girlfriend and telling her she can't play Morgan Wallen in your house is not the best thing to do when you're drunk. To me, that's not bad boy. That's cool.
Behavior.
That's cool, in my opinion. But
that's
I don't
operating from a place. That's the type of thing that a guy who used to be fat in middle school does when they get their money up.
Well, he also,
nothing bad.
But he also definitely has some strange PTSD from being in the armed services. So I think that might reveal itself after a couple handles of JD.
Okay, so you might not be able to tell by looking at him, but he knows how to operate a drone.
Yeah. I mean, he probably wasn't. I bet his department was a little more hands-on and a little less electronics based.
You think so?
Is my guess. I don't know.
You think he was doing hand-to-hand combat? Probably.
I think I would put him out in the field before I put him in front of the IBM.
We're not going to pick Zach for the clerical work in the U.S. Armed Forces. I agree.
No.
To me, he's like, hey, it's going to rain soon. Can we get a bunch of sandbags over here in case the barracks flood? And then old Zach is doing that. You know what I mean?
Can you imagine?
No job too small.
Can you imagine being in the Army and then now being worth $500 million?
Yes.
It's like and it happens very fast. It's that is the most, like, that whiplash is going to cause anyone to drink too much. That goes beyond a beer and a shot. You know, that's like a very extreme change in lifestyle.
That's a Halliburton level come up.
Yeah. No, it really is. It's so crazy to think about. Like, that is, like, he literally got famous recording acoustic videos in the barracks on YouTube. Like, that's how he was discovered. Imagine it's just so twisted.
Yeah, and now he's like, let's do some songs about drinking and driving instead of songs about.
Let's get Springsteen out here. Let's get Springsteen out here. Make some noise for Bruce Springsteen, ladies and gentlemen.
Speaking of Bruce, did you see the trailer for the Bruce movie?
Yeah, I did. It looks pretty good from what I can. I mean, I don't know. It didn't seem like the response was as polarizing as the Bob Dylan movie, and I feel like the Bob Dylan movie sort of warmed up society for this movie, and that's a positive.
It warmed up society, and I think at this point, are we running out of musicians to biopic?
Unfortunately, a lot of my favorites have made themselves, Eric Clapton and Van Morrison are unavailable, because I mean,
well, I mean, why not? I mean,
because they, were COVID deniers, so people hate them now or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these guys ruin their legacy, and then the Hollywood doesn't want to touch them. But I don't know who is. I mean, Prince would be tough. I feel like that's one that could happen.
There has to be a Prince one, right?
Yeah, but it's I mean, they're probably unless his like will prevents someone from doing that, which is also possible.
Right, the estate. I know they're shutting down some crazy big Prince
like
movie, I think it's a documentary. It's been made and kind of flopping around in the system for a few years, and I don't think it's ever going to see the light of day.
Yeah, I think that's I think the people that we'd want to know the most about have prepared for this time and will keep us from it. But I think that, I don't know. I mean, Bruce Springsteen is someone that I deeply respect, and like, sure, he's got smashes, but I never really got super into it, No.
No.
But I think that anytime someone has to fully learn to play an instrument and sing like someone else, and then it's in a movie, I'm very impressed, even if it's not exactly right.
I agree.
Because that is such a task, you know what I mean? I didn't. And again, the Bob Dylan movie, everybody I know that saw it liked it. I haven't heard a bad word about it from like an actual peer, like a human being.
Yeah, same for me.
And I feel like,
and I watched it and it was fine.
I feel like this will be the same kind of thing where it's like, it's a little more. I mean, I don't know. I guess also with movies like that, you have the power of the music a little bit, where it's like those songs are so recognizable and mean so much to people that it can make the movie easier to like.
I'm waiting for the Dua Lipa biopic. I'm assuming that's why you're in London. She was 2 sold-out nights at Wembley. Which one did you go to again?
I missed it. Wilco's actually playing tonight, but I have plans, and I'm a little upset. Shad was like, you can come with us to Wilco. And I was like, I would love to go to Wilco with young people just to see what that's like.
Of course.
Dua Lipa is unfortunately not in my interest area. I would have gone to that, though, if invited. Absolutely.
Okay. Not in my interest area. I like that.
But you like the music. You don't just think she's hot.
Some of the music.
I mean, some of the music is great, of course. She's got like hits. I just find it sort of low energy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes it hotter.
Yeah, I see that angle.
You don't want some energy. I want somebody who's like,
she could be here or not be here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I saw years and years ago when I saw Rihanna at Madison Square Garden, I couldn't believe the way she was, like, her dancers, of course, were like super animated and hitting their marks, and she was doing this sort of stoned, lackadaisical version of what the dancers were doing, and it was so much cooler. And she was still on beat, but moving at like halftime. It was a very interesting. I feel like Dua Lipa's pulling.
Well, she can't. She has a mic in one hand and a glass of red wine with ice cubes in it in the other. She can't really do cat's eye level choreo. You know what I mean?
Choreo is just such a funny thing in general. I'm always like, these motherfuckers. Remember when we did the GQ thing? There were those dancers at the Man of the Year, and they're like, you just see them run in, do their little dance, and run off. And it's such a funny career. I respect it. It's a hard thing to do. It's just a very funny. It doesn't seem like there's any money in it.
There is money in it. You can make almost $200 a day.
Yes, I mean, I guess
it's only for like 12 hours worth of work. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, if you get to sleep with the star, I guess it's worth it. But otherwise, financially, it's looking like an L.
I'm not a fan of the choreo. Like, people were talking about how, all these Benson Boone's types of musicians, it's not the reason why we don't like it and don't consider it to be music is because it's a style of music that was created on The Voice or, a talent show of some kind. And choreo is sort of the same thing for me. It's like, it's the America's Got Talent version of dancing. And that's just
totally
what we considered. And if it doesn't look like that, then we don't consider it to be impressive enough.
No, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
And it's a damn shame. And the choreo stuff, I hate it because everyone prioritizes it so much now.
Yeah.
That if somebody is like, hey, I'm just like a singer and I don't really want to spend like my life's work learning these complex dances. I'm just like a musician. And then people are like, oh, I saw the show, it was so boring. There wasn't even any choreo.
No. Yeah,
it's like going to a restaurant and saying like, oh well, I had a beautiful meal at Matsuhisa, but there wasn't an Oreo shake at the end for dessert, so the meal was stupid.
Yeah, it was all mid. I mean, I think about that with someone like Benson Boone when you've made the flip your thing. Now, I mean, there's nothing he can go to and be paid for that's not going to require him contractually to flip. And that is a limiting factor. At some point, he's going to have to move on. And I don't know if people... Like, when he did that JBL sort of activation, he had to flip off the car. Like, I guarantee that was contractually obligated. And I just feel like at a certain point, you're going to be bummed about that because it's like, that's all people want from you. They don't want to hear the songs.
Yeah, I mean, his legacy is flipping. And we're starting to finally see the dark side of the world of flips. And we called it early, of course. I've been adamantly against back flipping,
flip culture,
more than front flipping. But both are bad, but back flipping especially.
Can you flip on like a trampoline? I don't mean to pry.
No.
Okay.
I've never tried.
I can actually. Last time I tried, I was able to, and I do understand the thrill that is involved with that. But I don't think it's worth making your personality.
I mean, it's a cool thing to do. It's an impressive physical feat.
Yes.
But, to me, it's the physical equivalent of somebody who like just finished reading a book, walking around holding the book with them, posting Infinite Jest on your grid and saying like, oh, finally tackled this beast, like just do it. If you can flip. If you make it your whole life.
If you can flip is good advice.
You can flip, but do not make it the foundation of your existence. And
the whole thing.
Can you imagine being Benson Boone's lawyer and you went to law school for 8 years, started your own practice, worked your way up, have a nice car, kids, family, and you're 53 years old and you're writing a stipulation into a contract that the JBL Bluetooth speaker thing demands that you do one, and it'll say O-N-E and then parentheses number one.
Definitely that.
And parentheses
Definitely that.
One flip. Not to exceed 3, not to exceed a gainer. And going back and forth on, the placement and the timing and the location of the flip. They have to man the crew of influencer creation people with their phones from all the angles, and the whole teams of dozens of people are there just to make sure that the flip happens with the JBL speaker. and that is our job.
I mean, as long as you get paid for it, I guess that's fine. Imagine being the flip guy. Like I'm just here I'm on flip patrol. I got to make sure this thing happens. I got to make sure we have a correct surface so no injuries occur. It's important.
I'm on flip patrol. I wonder if Boone has, on when you're watching a basketball game and they'll call a timeout and the guy comes out and squeegees the
floor. Yeah, where the
floor.
Sweat is.
I think Boone's got one of those guys. Like, where are we going to come down?
I bet Boone has sort of his like best friend from growing up as an assistant. And I bet he's kind of in charge of stuff like that. I bet he doesn't have an expert, but I bet he has a guy.
It feels like it's. I'm picturing a Righteous Gemstones kind of scenario.
Yes.
With Adam Devine and then his partner. We don't know exactly what's going on there. Boone's. I mean, whatever you would call his weed man, or his weed carrier, right? That's what it would be.
Yeah, that's what it would be. And
who does your flip maintenance?
And you're insane.
I oversee all flip operations.
It's like, look at the paperwork. It's very clear who's in charge.
We're across all flipping right now. Kind of all hands on deck.
Oh God! I mean, people really. I mean, if that's the size of the importance of that does necessitate having someone that's over it, across it. That really does. It's like that could affect your payment.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Well, I'm personally over it as well. You also sent through I think it was in the cut, the article, the reason why we eat bread and pasta every day in Europe and actually lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
Article.
Mm-hmm.
It was an interesting debate. A lot of research went into it. A lot of breaking down the sciences of food dyes and wheat and proteins and riboflavins and, trying to really dig in why we all believe that eating bread and pasta in Europe every single day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you actually lose weight versus when we're in America. It all just boils down to the walking typically, but I think there's another reason, and I think it's because America has air conditioning and Europe doesn't, and just that change in temperature and humidity level stimulates the digestion, the gut microbiome.
Okay.
And I think the air conditioning, in addition to our sedentary lifestyle, is what is making us fatties.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, I think that trend, like every other trend on the internet, is overblown. Like there's no absolutes here. I think that I think the people that are posting about this are how do I say this, not scientists, not experts. It's a feeling they have, and I feel like we need a little more hard data, which the article does provide, and it doesn't debunk it. It's basically just like, it's just not that true. It's not so off base, but it's also like really overblown.
Yeah, and I guess the reason why it's fascinating to me and is sort of eternally debated throughout our culture is that there is no real way to prove it either way, and it is like a mystical, not a spirituality, but just like it feels related to the joie de vivre and the attitudes that we have towards food, negative and positive. And how it's being eaten and how it's being enjoyed and how we are prioritizing it, how we're eating it, not just what it is that we're eating, versus just in America we're getting a Trader Joe's wrap and eating it in our car, in between appointments, and in Europe they are eating a bread sandwich with pasta inside.
Can I get a bread sandwich with extra bread, please? That's literally what I would order. I mean, I think that
they make a meal out of the meal over there more than we do.
Exactly. But I think a certain kind of American person who goes to Europe for vacation, whether that's Italy or Greece or Corsica or whatever, I think they like it too much. And I think that to make it even better than what it is, because sometimes it's not great, sometimes it is. I lost weight because the food is so clean is just another thing to add onto the pile of why it's so amazing in Europe and it's so much better than where we live.
It's our way to mentally or subconsciously justify spending $8,000 to stay in a place that's worse than your house.
Dude, yeah, literally that.
Literally that. But I think also, God, what was I just thinking? I lost my train of thought. Wait. Oh no, I forgot it. It was very similar to what you were saying, and I was about to say it. It felt monumental and special. My brain is not really kicking there yet.
I understand.
Unfortunately,
I understand.
Here's what it is. I think when you go to Italy or any of these places where a lot of cheese and carbs and bread and things are consumed, you kind of have to eat that food.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to make it okay in your mind when you're going on a vacation from America to Europe. And every day in America, we're being so good. And I had a hard-boiled egg for breakfast. And I'm going to have a can of tuna for lunch. And, and I'm still fat and I still hate my life. And when I go to Europe, part of being on vacation is not thinking about every little calorie and every little thing. You want to let your hair down. You want to let your belt notches out a little bit. You're going to eat the pasta every day, and you just kind of have to mentally make that okay.
Yes.
The same way
there's
that
some gymnastics
a drug
going
addict is going to be like, well, I mean, not doing the oxy is not really an option, so we're going to figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah, I think
whatever you got to do.
I think it really does come down to mental gymnastics and social media brain disease. I think it's a combination of those two things that have allowed us to. I also think that posting pictures of food, and this is not directed at you, has in a certain way made it worse. You know what I mean? I think the popularity of taking pictures of food has made the whole discussion around food worse. It's made learning to cook easier, probably, because if I watch, a recipe video on New York Times or from you or Pierce or Andy Baragani or whoever, Allison Roman, it's like, oh, this is like educational, this serves a purpose, but there's too many voices and too many opinions, and I think it's like the idea of just enjoying something is not the same as it used to be.
Oh, no, none of these people are enjoying this food in Europe. They're not enjoying it. They're enjoying how it's going to feel when they post it on social media and then have your fat friend who didn't leave town and had 3 kids,
exactly
show jealousy of your amazing life.
This 120 euro branzino at the beach club is going to make Big Mama from high school upset. She doesn't know what branzino is, but she's pissed that she's not having it. That's what social media is all about. That is what.
Is that fish?
I don't really like fish, especially if it has bones, but that does look really nice. And the beach is all rocks. I don't even like that.
They don't even like the branzino. The branzino is a bummer to them. They want to have a tuna melt from Denny's. But the photo of it, they're able to grin and bear it and push through this meal if it means that, their social media clout will be increased
It's
at all.
It's an interesting development. As a person who, we went to a pub here called the Plimsoll. Ed took us there, and it was really cool. I really liked it. I think you would have loved it. But I hadn't taken a picture of food in a long time. But for some reason, they put these sausages with mustard down, and I took a picture to send to you for some reason. And I don't know what. I'm like, I don't think Jason particularly loves sausages. I love the plating and the simplicity of it, and the mustard on the kind of blue and white plate next to the crispy sausages. But I don't know why I felt so compelled of all the dishes. It was very photogenic in my opinion, but I want to get it. I want to know
what
why.
About it was like, damn, Jason needs to see this plate of sausages.
Yeah, I don't know. There wasn't even like a half pint of Guinness in the background. It was just the plate of sausages. I don't know why I felt compelled.
Yeah, I mean, I posted a photo of sausage last week at Cafe 2001.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I knew that you had recently enjoyed sausage and we had discussed it, and subconsciously I wanted to share in the sausage memories with you.
Yeah. And then I was like, good, Chris, good. You do sausage too. See?
I didn't eat any of it, but it looked
There were a lot of people, posting sausage like that on stories, close friends or not, when you post sausage like that, it's a good kind of barometer or litmus test of how cultured somebody is. Because if you post a plate of simple sausages, maybe there's some frites next to it and a dollop of aioli or mustard, and it you show it to some person and somebody who knows, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, hell yeah, merguez frite, what a delicious classic European
yes, of course,
snack.
Yeah.
Nice little aioli, a little garlic aioli on the side, and yummy, yummy, yummy. And then the other people are like, bro, you're eating hot dogs with no bun? That's fucking weird. Like, you some kind of gluten-free pussy? What's going on? And you're like, I'm not going to explain how sausages work to you, bro.
That's how much time do we have?
A lot of people thought that my photo of merguez with frite was just protein-style hot dogs.
I see.
And they thought it was like a embarrassing slop plate kind of thing.
I see. Now it's
which is good. They fell into my trap.
Now it's all
exactly the kind of thing I want to do.
Now it's all becoming clear to me. They fell into my trap. Got him.
Also, I saw a tweet. There a lot of people were talking about R. Kelly and wondering if he was the greatest R&B person alive, and a lot of people, very divisive subject, of course. And then I saw somebody tweet saying, so y'all are saying Stevie Wonder is better than R. Kelly. Somebody replied saying Stevie Wonder is blind and plays 36 instruments. R. Kelly can see but can't read. Which I thought was funny, but
very cool diss.
It's a cool diss from Dreadliff Shrimp on Twitter. But it begged the question, all things considered, what handicap would make you a better singer? Because being blind, then yes, we're operating in the feel and the sound space only. But R. Kelly not being able to read, he's having to craft these lyrics about licking on your booty, all with his mind. He's not able to read and write lyrics.
He's not inspired by the great novelists. He's got to get this purely. I think that's why his lyrics are.
He had to listen to Lolita on audiobook. He's a
big audiobook guy. He's
Vladimir, you're a fool for that one. But
Vladimir, you're crazy, bro.
But I would say you can make an argument that being illiterate is going to turn you into a great R&B artist just as much as being blind is going to turn you into a soulful instrumentalist.
I agree with that, and I think it's cool. I mean, R. Kelly's lyrics also feel like they're lyrics written by a person who can't read. It's kind of obvious that that's what's going on. So I'm glad that we're talking, because he also famously ate McDonald's for 3 meals a day. Mm-hmm. The guy's living on a different planet, and I think I was never. I mean, R. Kelly has hits, of course. Like I don't. No one can deny that. But I was never super into it. But
sure.
I think that the dumbness of the whole thing is why it's so popular, and I think that. Yeah. Some of our greats, I don't need my musicians to be geniuses. I need them to be good. I don't care if they can read. I don't care if they can write. If the song is good, the song is good.
Yeah, I mean, the dumbest, lowest common denominator, it casts the widest net. And, you're going to get all the dum-dums with it, but a lot of intelligent thinkers who are able to read may also enjoy it as well.
That's true. Exactly. You're not going to alienate anyone if the song is good.
And Kells,
if the song is good, you will alienate someone if you go to jail for awful behavior. But if you can't read and you got hits, everybody can look past that.
Jail is super alienating. Trust me.
Jail can be
one of the most alienating, especially if you're in the hole.
Oh man, the hole sucks, dude.
But now that you mentioned the illiteracy, the kind of rudimentary intelligence level, and the McDonald's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's lead and his dark sexual philandering. He must have been abused as a child in a fucked up way. I'm not defending him or justifying his actions either way, but it all kind of clicks on.
Yeah.
Like when I would listen to Loveline and Dr. Drew would assess that if somebody calls in and they kind of have like a baby voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kelly doesn't have a baby voice, but he has baby everything else.
Baby everything else is right. Yeah. Playing basketball at 24 Hour Fitness in Chicago and eating McDonald's for 3 meals a day and writing lyrics when you can't read there's a lot going on there.
Me want French fry, me go pee pee, you clean it up, all that stuff.
There's a lot of debate around R&B right now because there was like a list of best R&B singers.
I think this is what
they talked about it on Joe Budden, and there was several discrepancies with the listing. Obviously, I'm no R&B expert, and I don't really care, but they're arguing the merits of like Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey and Marvin Gaye, and it's like, well, they're all pretty good. I don't really know. Like, I don't know. I mean,
they're all great. It's simply just a matter of taste, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, yeah, dude. I mean, I think Whitney Houston, like Joe Budden was making fun of Whitney Houston, being like, she shouldn't be on this high on the list. I'm like, Whitney Houston's kind of like, I just maybe.
Whereas
I really like it.
On a good day, I put her at number 1.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I think that like, but all these lists that these music publications put out to rage bait their readers and get them to comment down below is, I think that the way they do it is not, let's say, scientific, like we were talking about earlier. I think it's a little bit like, what are the factors, and they tell you what the factors are of why they listed them this way, but it's hard to believe that you're only acknowledging some things and not others when you know the artist completely, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just be like, we're leaving live performance out of it. If you've seen a live performance, you can't. It's like being a member of the jury on the Diddy trial. Like, no one doesn't know who he is or what's going on. Like, it's crazy to me to make these sort of like declarations about what is being considered and what's not. But those lists are there to keep the lights on at Rolling Stone. I can't blame them for trying.
Yeah, I mean, what even is R&B nowadays? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess also speaking of music, Will Smith seems to be at it again. He has a song that people are saying sounds like The Dare.
It does.
Have you heard it?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I was hanging out with Harrison on Friday. He DJ'd at Living Room. Hung out with him and Rostam.
I wish he played it. That'd be cool if he was like, hell yeah, Will Smith.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, it's cool for him that Will Smith, one of the most famous people in the world, used him as a reference. And people were saying, the Will Smith song, yes, of course, it is unlistenably bad. But somebody tweeted out that they think that the reason why is because the tempo of the song is incorrect.
I heard this.
They slowed it down a little bit, and they sped it up a little bit, and it did make it better.
Well, they were talking about this on Joe Budden as well, and some of those bozos seem to think that this is like, no, they're playing this on the yacht at Cannes, 100%. The white shade. I'm like, no, they're not. No one likes this. Like, there's just better there's better versions of this music, and no one is checking for Will Smith. He's like an embarrassment. No one is going to listen. No one's going to listen to this.
You can't be making music like that at his age with what he's done.
I don't want to see a 60-year-old man talking about like big booties or whatever. Like, I just don't need that. I just don't think anybody needs that necessarily. It doesn't feel. But I also, I mean, there's all this. There's a new Offset song. Did you hear it where he samples "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor"?
Oh,
well, he doesn't sample it. I think they just repeat it. Unfortunately, the song is kind of good, I have to say.
Okay,
it's kind of good.
I'll give it a listen.
There's also a Cardi B song that is not good, and people like Azalea Banks, friend of the show, are saying it's time to put Cardi back in the Bronx and off MTV.
R.I.P. The areolas were too powerful. I'm looking at the genius.com lyrics for Will Smith, Pretty Girls. It's just him saying pretty girls, but
there's some other bars in there.
I'm a post your pick if you pose. Make one call, you in vogue.
Get you in vogue. Yeah.
Head,
I know.
shoulder, knees, and toes. Hold up, wait, pose. You and your twin on a jet ski. I'll change your life if you let me. I mean, it's just. I mean, these are like 11-year-old.
Do you think question?
I'm
sure
lyrics.
We could find the credits, but is Jaden credited for any writing? Because Willow's actually good, so this is not Willow.
Well, my thought, a good way for the Dare to get some retaliation for Will Smith stealing his swag, Will Smith should let the Dare cover Welcome to Miami and give him the blessing for the Dare to do a version of Welcome to Miami. And if it was in like a Snow Strippers, LMFAO, tongue-in-cheek kind of way, I could easily see that being the song of the summer. Like, it goes from, ironic to actually enjoyable and good.
I agree with you 100%. I think that's a great trade.
Rostam, I know you're listening right now. You've got Harrison in the studio finishing up his album. I know you're on a deadline with the label, and festival season is upon us, but let's shelve all of that and do a cover of Welcome to Miami by Will Smith.
The reworking of Will Smith's. I think that the real question is, do you think Will Smith has ever heard the Dare song that we're talking about? Because I don't think I don't think he has. I don't think he has. I think someone who produced this song brought this in, and he said, "Sure, let's do it." I don't think he's aware of who the Dare is at all.
I mean, that's very popular, or that is very possible. It looks like the producer's name is Omar, Omarr. Omar of the group Stupid Robots, spelled with 2 O's.
That sounds like something Will.i.am was name his recording studio. That's really
I don't
good.
know. I mean,
really
there's
good.
definitely a good. Oh, it looks like he did a lot of songs with Jaden.
He's the
Willow.
family in-house producer, or a cousin or something.
He
maybe.
is.
Okay.
Yeah, he must be.
Yesterday, I went to the Peninsula Hotel here, and because I was getting a lymphatic drainage massage from Ricari.
Oh, that's nice.
And I had to put on the suit again.
The full bodysuit, the thought suit.
I had to put on the thought suit again, and I put it on backwards, and I couldn't. And the therapist was waiting outside of the room, and I realized it was on backwards. And it's so hard to get on and off when you're someone of my size that I had to just rock with it backwards. And I couldn't, getting it off my body and putting it back on was not an option. I just couldn't. I couldn't bear.
You would have to ask somebody for help, right?
It's like when you put on a jacket for your, you hold the jacket for your wife so it's easier for her arms to get in. Mm-hmm. I needed someone to do that for me, but I couldn't because I looked. It's so embarrassing.
What part of your body needed to be held while you did this switcheroo?
No, it would have been holding up. It would have been holding up a single arm so that I could put my arm in on both sides. Is what it's a little hard to hike it up, but yeah, it was But I will say I slept for 10 hours last night. I slept like a fucking baby, so my nervous system was relaxed, and it was worth the embarrassment.
What part of your body was it? The total body drainage?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's a full body. It's with this machine.
Drain my whole shit.
They drain my whole shit. But I've done it before with Julia in LA because Rylan gave it to me as a gift. And imagine how much more humbling it is when it's with someone you know. It was, both a prank and a gift, I think.
If you're able to get through that, I think that's real maturity.
I think so too. It's a level of professionalism that I don't personally possess, but other people do. But I haven't slept like that. I felt like a teenager, and I woke up very refreshed.
After you're done, pardon the crude question, but when you're done with that,
of course,
walk me through the pee. Do you find yourself peeing more?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, when you know me, I hydrate like a psycho. So as soon as they start putting the machine on your stomach, I'm gonna have to, I have to basically feel like I have to go to the bathroom for an hour, while they're doing it. But yeah, you feel it's like anytime people like push on your stomach is such a strange sensation. I find, whether it's a massage.
You never get used to someone digging in them guts, do you, Chris?
Exactly, I've had it done by men and women over the years, and it never gets easier. Is what I'm trying to say. It never gets easier. It
remains to be a novel sensation every time. Is what you're saying.
Exactly, the sensation continues to be novel, and I'm happy that I am. It's still fresh for me.
Do you think that certain masseuse facilities should offer some type of catheter situation?
I wonder.
When you're face down on the table, just halfway through, just give a little.
It's not bad.
And then because it's such a bummer when you're halfway through that 90-minute shiatsu, and you have to go number one. You really you get in your head about it so much. You're like, okay, I'll hold it, but have I been? Is it another 10 minutes or is it another 50 minutes?
That's what's so funny is that I usually feel like,
and then you're unable to enjoy.
I usually feel like that, and I was able to like zen out and like kind of fall asleep. So I because I thought that I would be too wrapped up in having to go to the bathroom, and that's all I could. I know exactly what you mean. That's all you can think about.
Yeah. And then sometimes you just have to be like, all right, sorry, I'm just going to go pee just so I can get it over with. Otherwise, I'm just going to be thinking about it the whole time. And then I won't.
But in this instance, the option didn't exist because of the suit. Like I could have done it, of course, but the suit is, once the suit's on me, it's staying on until I have to take it off because it might get ripped or something,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like when a woman wears like a romper,
Exactly.
I really... Anything but taking this thing off again because I'm going to need my friend to get it back on.
Well, no, it's like Met Gala bathroom style, like I can't, I have to have 3 assistants help me get this dress off so I have to take it all the way off my body, kind of vibe, which is always fun. I'm really looking forward to coming to LA though. I'm psyched.
Oh yeah. You leave when? In like 2 days?
Yeah. I'm going back to New York and then going to LA on Wednesday.
All right, we're gonna see if we can get that BMW to turn over.
I think you give it a try today. Just hit the gas a few times, knock the cobwebs out. I'll be there. I'm gonna have Vic drop me off. And I think it'll be fine.
Okay, and I'll try. No promises. I'll try to get throw a little spritz on it. Hit it with the power washer. No promises.
No promises. No. That would only be a gift.
You don't need a full detail job.
No. Although, since we've talked about your power washing, I do get a lot of power washing, vehicle cleaning Instagram reels served to me. And it is pretty hypnotizing to watch in a good way.
Satisfying, isn't it?
It's very satisfying.
Of all the things in the world, what would you want to spray the most?
Definitely like a sidewalk that I owned. Like a driveway. Like if I had a driveway, like I honestly, and I know that the joke is that I don't like to do physical work because it's true, but if I had a driveway that was fucking dirty and somebody had the machine and I could go out and do it, I think I would actually do it.
Yeah. Is there any activity like that you do? Like, people will talk about like Catholic guilt style.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to clean this bathroom with a toothbrush type of thing, like really stretch it. I'm going to do this long, strenuous, repetitive task as a means of, finding Zen of some sort, maybe.
No, Jason, then that's the problem because I'm always searching for Zen and I've never found it in my 42 years. So hopefully one day something will reveal itself to me and allow me to reach that elevated plane that you so often find.
I don't think that you're always searching for Zen. Is that true?
No, but no, I'm joking. Of course not. But I don't have anything. I don't have anything like you're talking about, though, is what I'm saying. Like, I know what you mean. Like, there's no like thing I can go do that's like a mindless activity that brings me joy. Mm-hmm. I know exactly what we're talking about. And I hopefully I find one day.
Well, I mean, I can order you a mop on Amazon if you want to get going.
Well, I've been going to the hotel has like a sauna pool operation. Mm-hmm. And actually I ran into Roy and Allie from LA. They were in town. They're staying here. So we worked out together. Oh. And I was in the sauna with him yesterday talking. And I was like, the floor was very wet around the pool. And I was about to get out of the sauna. And I thought to myself how good it would feel to squeegee the entire surrounding pool area. And and then it brought me back. I really like to clean a pool. Like I like to get the leaves out of a pool. It's very satisfying.
Okay, there we go. That's Tony Soprano coded, isn't it?
Oh, really? Really?
He had ducks.
Oh, I see.
In his pool. That was his like thinking zen spot.
Yeah, I have to get
that pool.
I just have to get a pool first, but it could happen one day.
Okay, well, Chris, today's my mom's birthday, so I'm gonna leave you and pick up
happy birthday to the goat. Thank you for blessing us with these two beautiful boys that have only enriched my life. And that's not a joke.
Oh,
that's not a joke.
Isn't that sweet?
What are you guys gonna do? Go to OC lunch?
Yep, gonna go pick up my bro. And then go grab some lunch, chill out for the day, and then come back up to watch Game 7, NBA Finals.
Okay. Yeah, enjoy that. I'm going to Notting Hill.
And at some point, I have to edit a podcast, and we'll see.
Your mom will understand. I love what you're doing today and what I'm about to do because they couldn't be more different. And that's I'm going to Notting Hill to have sushi with Tish and Camille. That is as far as you can go from watching the NBA Finals with your brother drinking an IPA.
Okay, so I am going to record a podcast at 9 a.m, immediately shit, shower, shave, drive, pick up a birthday present, pick up my brother, drive 90 minutes to Orange County, spend the afternoon with my mom, 90 minutes back up, and then go into editing mode, and then eventually watch some sports at night, and you're going to get sushi with 2 hot chicks. This is a good...
I mean, look, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, every day isn't like this, but some days are like this.
It's different because as like a kind of like a BTS content creator, Monday is my Saturday.
Dude.
Okay, so
dude,
Sunday is my Monday. Monday is my Saturday.
I get it. I can't wait to be on the plane tomorrow. My real happy place. That's maybe that's where I find my moment of zen. But honestly, tell your mom happy birthday for me.
I will.
And I hope you guys have a nice time and the weather cooperates, etc.
Thank you so much. And okay, that's it. We have some great pods this week. We will be in the Midwest and Canada in about a month. Toronto, Minneapolis, Chicago, DC. And we will be at a few festivals this summer as well. So come see us live. And then August 4th in London. And that is all. Have a fun sushi meal. Tell the birds I say hello. And I'll talk to you on Tuesday.
I will. See you then.
Bye.
You say you know me, creature.